Hello friends, welcome to the Factors Telugu channel. Friends, yesterday we started our chapter heat. So in that we have discussed up to some of the concept like basics concept of the chapter heat. And today I am going to explain about the thermal equilibrium. So this is the interesting topic. So what is the thermal equilibrium? So what is the meaning of thermal equilibrium and what will full details I will tell you in this class. So let us begin. So remember some of the concepts what we discussed in the video 1. So if you do not see the video 1, please look at the video 1, the basic concept, and come to this video. So we have discussed in the video 1 about some of the basic concepts of heat, as right. So how the heat will transfer from one body to another body. So the heat will transfer always from the hottest body to coldest body, yes, right. So why? Because coldest body is in less energy and hot body has more energy. That's why the energy will take place from the hot body to the cold body, and heat is also a form of energy. Then friends, in the yesterday experiment, in the experiment of iron piece and the wood piece, we have seen that when we touched the iron, then only we feel the coolness. So when we do not touch any iron piece or any wood piece, so we didn't experience any coolness or any hotness. So if you want to say whether the object is in the hot or in the cool position, so first of all we have to touch the object. So then only we can say is that very hot or very cool. So how we are saying that by touching? So when we touch the objects, then the heat energy will takes place from the hottest body to cold body. Then we are saying that it is a hot or cold. So the same way here also it will applies. So when two bodies, suppose if you take the two bodies, suppose body A and body B if you take. So these are the two bodies. So if these two bodies are kept in a contact, that means A and B are touched with each other and they kept in the contact. Suppose if A is with the hot, so the substance A is with the hot and it has some of the temperature, and B is cool and it has some of the coolest temperature. So when these two kept in the contact, then what will happen? The hot substances transfer the heat energy into the coolest substances. So here the transfer of energy takes place from the hot body to the cold body. So the same way when any two bodies in the nature, when any two bodies are placed in the thermal contact, that means they are placed side by side, not at the distance. So there is no much there will be no distance in the objects when they are kept in a thermal contact. So then heat energy will be transferred from the hottest body to the coldest body. So every time the heat flows from the hot body to the cold body only. So yesterday I have said in the yesterday videos also. So that is always the body which has the highest temperature will transfer the energy to the coldest temperature, but not from the cold body to the hot body. So this transfer of heat energy continues till both bodies attain the same degree of hotness or coldness. So how much time it will transfer the energy? So whether it won't transfer the energy all the time, like so these are kept for the 10 minutes, so it won't transfer the energy for the 10 minutes. Why? Because they will attain some of the equal temperatures. Up to they attain the equal temperature of degree of hotness or coldness, up to then only it will transfer the heat energy, then it stops heating. So it stop transferring energy. Why? Because so the both are equal, then which body will transfer the energy to the which body, so that's why they will stop transferring energy up to they attain the same degree of hotness or the coldness. So at this stage where we say that the bodies have achieved the thermal equilibrium. So whenever these two bodies transfer of energy takes place and so they are stopped at certain temperature, so then we will say that two bodies are in the thermal equilibrium. So thus the state of thermal equilibrium denotes a state of body whether it receives or gives out heat energy. So it will says about the which energy is giving energy, which energy is gaining energy, which body is losing, which body is losing its energy, which body is gaining its energy. So like that the thermal equilibrium will shows all the things for us. So if you are not feeling either hot or cold in your surroundings, then your body is said to be in the thermal equilibrium with the surrounding atmosphere. So sometimes we will feel in the summer, so we will feel very hot. So why? Because our surroundings are very heat and our body some of the cool. So then we are obtaining the heat energy from our surroundings. Then we are feeling some of the hotness. In the winters, we feel we are very like we will be shivering. So why? Because the temperatures of the outside are very cool and our body some has it has just some degree of hotness. So whenever sometimes we will not feel any hotness or any coolness for some time in some situations, then what is going on there? The atmosphere temperature is equal to our body temperature. Then the both are in the same equal temperatures. Then our atmosphere and our body is in the thermal equilibrium. So that's why in that situations we do not feel any hot or any cold in that situation. So similarly, the furniture in the room is in thermal equilibrium with air in the room. So we can say that the furniture and the air are room at the same temperature. So whenever we take any furniture like doors, mats, like something in our home, so when we touch them, we can't feel any very hotness or very coldness. Why? Because they are at the room temperatures and our atmospheric temperatures. So some of the times only we will feel like any mat exposed to the sun, then we will feel at the hot temperature. Otherwise, so they are at the room temperature and they will be always at the equilibrium. So I think you understood the thermal equilibrium concept. So the final statement of thermal equilibrium is when two bodies are placed in a thermal contact, heat energy will transfer from the hotter body to the colder body. Up to the heat energy continues till the both bodies attain the same degree of hotness or coldness. This is the final definition of thermal equilibrium. So if you have any doubts, post in the comment box. I will definitely clarify your doubts in the next sessions. Okay, so next we will move into the concept. So that is our main concept, that is heat. So by before going into the heat, I will ask you two questions. If you know that, so please give me the answer. The first one is, what is the temperature? In the before video I have said the clarity definition of temperature. So what is the temperature? And here I am not asking about the definition of temperature. So how is the temperature and how the factors affecting the temperature, like in which situation the temperature will flows. So like that, so think about in your mind. And second question is, how can you differentiate it from heat? So like how are the heat and the temperature are different? Whether the heat and temperature are, these two are the not same. The temperature is a unit of heat which is used to measure the heat. So there are some difference between the heat and the temperature. Okay, so let us talk about one activity which is given in the textbook. So that is activity 2. So here they are take two glass tumblers and fill one of them with hot water and another with the cold water. So they are taking two glass tumblers. So one fill with some of the hot water. So these are the hot water. And another one fill with the cold water. So the two glass tumblers are, one is filled with hot water, another one is filled with the cold water. Now take a laboratory thermometer, observe the mercury level in it and note in your book. So now, so from the laboratory or from any place, so just take out one thermometer and place the thermometer in these two. After placing it, what will be happen? The changes in the mercury level will be observed. So note the changes in the mercury level in your notebooks, or so somewhere keep the readings, like note the readings. So like what changes did you notice in the reading of thermometer? So like the mercury level, that means the mercury level will rise or mercury level won't change, or mercury level decreases. Like this, some of the changes will be occurred. So what did you observe when you place these two thermometers in? One is the hot water and one is the cold water. So now another question, if the mercury level increases or decreases. So like whether it increases or decreases. So what will happen? So if you have the thermometer, observe and keep a comment, or otherwise we will discuss in the class. So now place the thermometer in the cold water and observe the changes in mercury level. If the level decreases or increases. So the both we have did. So the hot water and the cold water. So we know that the bodies in contact achieve thermal equilibrium due to transfer of heat energy. When you kept the thermometer in the hot water, you observe that there is a rise in mercury level. Yes, yes, right. So always the hotter substances will show the highest temperatures, and this happens because heat got transferred from the hotter body to the colder body, mercury in the thermometer. Similarly, in the second case, you will observe that the mercury level comes down from its initial level because of transferring heat from mercury to water cold body. Thus, we define. So here the main point is like the more about the thermal equilibrium here. So while we are placing in thermometer in the heat hot water, so why here the mercury level is increasing? So why here means here any two bodies are kept in a thermal contact, they have to achieve the thermal equilibrium. So that's why here the hot water have the more temperature and thermometer doesn't have any temperature. So that's why the hot water tries to transfer energy to the thermometer. That means the body A tries to transfer the temperature to body B. So then in the body B, that mercury level will be raised up. Why? Because the thermometer mechanism is like that. And when you kept the thermometer same in the cold bodies, so what will happen here? So here the thermometer is initially at the room temperature, or like it has some of the heat, so not much as lot of heat, but it has some of the heat. But here cold water are very cool, which is drawn out from the fridge. So that's why, so here also the same process will be going on. The thermal equilibrium process will have to go on. So that's why here who will be transfer energy? Thermometer will transfer energy to the cold water. So why? Because here it is in the less temperature and these are in the highest temperature. So that's why here the mercury level will be goes off. So this is the reason why the mercury level will be goes up and the goes down in the thermometers. So now at finally we will define the temperature. So sorry, we will define the definition of the heat. So that is, heat is a form of energy. So this is, we know from the class starting. So heat is a form of energy and it transits that flows from a body at higher temperature to body at a lower temperature. So here there are the statements. So first one is, so heat, it is a form of energy, and heat is always flow when two bodies are kept in a contact up to they will obtain thermal equilibrium. Up to then heat will be flowing on, going on, flowing. So then another statement is, so it will flow in a particular direction, not in the random direction. It will flow some particular direction from the hottest body to the coldest body. So it will transfer from in this direction only. It won't transfer from the cold to hot. So these are the three main points we have to keep in mind about the heat. The next, the steadiness of the mercury column of the thermometer indicates that the flow of heat between the thermometer liquid and water has stopped. Thermal equilibrium has been attained between the water and thermometer liquid. The thermometer reading at thermal equilibrium gives the temperature. The temperature is a measure of thermal equilibrium. So here in the previous experiment, so we have kept the thermometer in the water. Yes, right. So we have kept the thermometer in the water. After some time, you have observed that so the reading of the thermometer will stops at some time. That means mercury level will stops at some degree. Suppose if you think this is 90 degrees, suppose. So why this mercury level has stopped? Why? Because the both bodies attain the same degree of thermal equilibrium. That means these two are in same temperature. That's why only here the transfer of energy stopped, and here also the gaining of energy is stopped. So this is the reason why the reading in the thermometer stops when we kept in the when something is attained into the thermometer. So this is the reason why mercury will stops at a level. And in the same situation now we will observe in the cold situation also. So next, if two different systems A and B in thermal contact are in a thermal equilibrium individually with another system C, thermal contact with A and B will the system A and B in the thermal equilibrium with each other. So here, so there is one question, so you have to think very carefully. So that is, so like you have taken the three bodies A, B and C. Okay, so first I am saying that so A and B are in the thermal equilibrium. That means I kept, so they are in the thermal equilibrium, they are in the contact and they are in the thermal equilibrium. So that means they have the same temperature. So now next, B is also is equal to the thermal equilibrium with the C. That means so these two temperatures are also equal and these two are in the contact, and so these two are also in the thermal equilibrium. Then my question is, so then A and C are also in the thermal equilibrium or not? So if you place A to the C, so then these two also will be thermal equilibrium or not? So the answer is it will be S. So A and C also will be in the thermal equilibrium. So why? Because here A and B are in the thermal equilibrium with the same temperatures, and again B and C are with the same temperatures. So here B is maintaining a equal temperature, that means constant temperature, and with A and with C. So that's why A and C also will have the same temperature, and these three bodies are in the thermal equilibrium, and if you take any two bodies, they will also be in the thermal equilibrium. So this is the point here. So we know uh, if A is in thermal equilibrium with C, they both have the same temperature. Yes, so this is the final statement. So if any two bodies are in the thermal equilibrium and the second body is thermal equilibrium with the third one, then first and third will be also be in the thermal equilibrium. So this is the uh, concept of when three bodies are in the thermal equilibrium. So next we will discuss about the units of heat, and already we know that the temperature is a measure of heat. So first of all we will discuss about the units of the heat. So first of all we have to know about the SI unit. So SI unit and the CGS units. So here the SI unit of heat is the joule, so which is represented by the J. The SI unit of heat is joule and it is represented by the capital J, and the CGS unit of heat is calorie. So calorie. So these are the SI units and CGS units. We will measure the heat in the joules and the calories. So here the amount of heat required to rise temperature of 1 gram of water. So that means 1 gram means, so if you want to rise this 1 gram of water heat, that means with 1 degree Celsius, so that is called 1 calorie. So the amount of heat required to rise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius is called calorie. So here 1 calorie is equals to 4.186 joules. So this is the relationship between the calories and joules. So if you want to change the units from calories to joules, we will use this. 1 calorie is equal to 4.186 joules. So we will discuss the SI unit and CGS units of temperature, that means unit of temperatures. So already we know the temperature is a unit that is used to, temperature we will use to measure the heat. So see here, SI unit of temperature is Kelvin. So don't confuse about the heat and the temperature unit. So SI unit of temperature is Kelvin, and it will be also expressed in the degree Celsius. That means it will also expressed in the degree Celsius. Kelvin and the degree Celsius. Here also there will be there is a one relation. So that is 1 Kelvin. That means 1 Kelvin is equals to, so degree Celsius plus 273. So if they given something in the Celsius scale, so if you want to convert to the Kelvin scale, then so we will use this relation. So that means if they given 30 degrees Celsius, so then K is equal to 30 plus 273. So then we will add the both, then it will gives us 303. So in this way we will convert from one scale to, that means one unit to another units. So next one, the absolute temperature. So here I have said about the Kelvin and degree Celsius, right? So in these two, the temperature which is measured on the Kelvin scale, so which is measured in the Kelvin scale, it is called the absolute temperature. That means it is, so it will have the absolute temperature. So why? Because we didn't convert to anybody, so anything. So that is the absolute temperature. So next thing is temperature and kinetic energy. So temperature and kinetic energy. So here there is another activity, that is activity number 3. So see here, take 2 bowls, one with hot water and second with cold water. Gently sprinkle food colors on the surface of water in both bowls. Observe the motion of the small grains of food color. So here they are saying that take the 2 bowls. So suppose name this ball as A and this ball as B. And here take hot water in one bowl and take cool water in one bowl. So you already know what are the food colors. We will use the food colors so in some foods, okay? So pour so here add some food color in the both. So pour some food color in this and some food color. So let us write some questions if you know the answer then. So first one, how do they move? So when we add some the food color, so how will they move? And second question, so why do they move randomly? So they only here they said the answer. So when we add something, they will move randomly. So why they are moving randomly? Why do the grains in hot water move more rapidly than the grains in cold water? So when we add the food color grains in both, so here it moves very fastly and here it moves some of the slowly. Why? So you will notice that the grains of food colors jiggle, that means moves randomly. So this happens because the molecules of water in the both bowls are in random motion. Yes, right, they are in the random motion. So we observe that the jiggling of the grains of food color in the hot water is more than compared to the jiggling in cold water. So we know that the bodies possess kinetic energy when they are in the motion. So the kinetic energy means the particles which are having the energy which is moving while some body is moving, then the body will have some of the kinetic energy. Already we know that. As the speed of motion of particles in the bowls of water is different, we can say that they have the different kinetic energies. And so thus we can conclude that the average kinetic energy of the molecules per particles of a water body is greater than the colder body. So we can say that the temperature of a body is an indicator of the average kinetic energy of the molecules of a body. So I think you understood the concept. So if you have any doubts, comment me in the comment box. So here the particles in the hottest body will move within the some fast manner, and here in with the some colder manner. Why? Because this has a more kinetic energy. The particles which is present in the body will have the more kinetic energy. So now the statement, the average kinetic energy of the molecules is directly proportional to the absolute temperature. That means, so they will have one average kinetic energy. So that is always directly proportional to the absolute temperature. Okay. So this is the today's concept. So if you have any doubts, please post in the comment box. So if you like my class, like it, share to your friends and subscribe to my channel. So thanks for watching. Have a nice day.